Purpose of the exam. They must feel. What do they got to do? Full spine injury. What's that last word?
Injury.
Pain does not motivate people to go to a doctor. How many people live in chronic pain? Like 90 some odd percent of the population, right? People go to the doctor, or they do something, they create motion when they feel injured. They have to feel what kind of injury? Full spine injury. That's it. So your purpose is to physically confirm the findings in the consultation, meaning you're relating posture to organs. Well, you're teaching posture organs. Now they have to tell you what their problems are. It doesn't matter what we say, it matters what they say. You have to care. A great coach cares about what they say. Cares what the patient says, or the client, or whatever label you give them. They must tell you their whole spine is weak. What also do they have to tell you? Whole spine's weak. What else? I don't want to be like this anymore. So this is the consultation and exam. Okay, they're also going to tell you, here's a key that's not in here. It says take them to overwhelm and eliminate all objections. Now here's a key that isn't on here. The more they've been to another chiropractor. I'm going to repeat that. The more chiropractors they've been to, the more they have the need within themselves to say their problem's coming from another area. And the probability that's coming from another area is pretty high. Now you could be dealing with a posture pattern where you are digging on the primary area, but what part of the spine responds? When you have one major postural distortion, what part of the spine responds to that? All of it, right? So if you have a posterior thoracic translation in the normal coupling pattern, what happens to the thoracic cage? Hyperkyphosis. Now, if your thoracic cage moves back, what's the head do? Why? Because the brain's got to balance it. Would a forward head posture add to the collapse of a hyperkyphosis? Yeah, because you just put weight out front, right? So even the other areas of the spine that compensate still add more stress to that primary distortion, and there's a probability that that primary distortion, that their pain complaint came from another area. So if you have a posterior thoracic translation, immediately you got all the weight, almost all the way of the upper body coming down where? Right on their low back. Is that person going to have low back pain? If it goes far enough, you start to get S-curves in the low back. Is that going to collapse the lumbar spine? Yeah. So every area complicates every other area. That's why it's always a full spine problem. So they have to tell you their spine, they have problems and it's coming from another area. And they will never get better. They will never get better until all those areas are corrected. Their body will never be healthy. They will always be in a weakened structure. Lordosis is strength. Curves are strength. The sagittal curves are strength to the spine. Right? Lordosis is motion. Muscles pull 30, 60, 90 degree angles on the spine. When you lose the lordotic spine, you put in a translation, literally you lose physical strength. So the curves and the biomechanics are strength and health to their body. Their spine is the foundation of strength and health in their body. And any deviation depletes strength, depletes health. Now that's how you create a reality shift in a person that, like Ryan yesterday, that was his consultation. The minute he walked up and said, I need a volunteer, he popped up. You already know, exceptional person, not going to have a lot of health problems. So immediately, I already know just by looking at him. We started yesterday. He sat in the chair. What was the first question we asked?
Have you been to a chiropractor?
No. Wrong! Tell me 3 things about him. Just looking at him, tell me 3 things about him. And we named like 8 things about him. Right? What was his emotional hook? Weakness. You're not going to sell that guy on organ problems. He doesn't have organ problems. So exceptional people, exceptional athletes, weakness. So a person that won't get off back pain, doesn't matter if they're an exceptional athlete. Doc, just cracked my back. I just reached over in the car to pick up my kid's baby seat. Does that ever happen? I just did this and I twisted wrong. Does that happen? Doc, just cracked my back. I just did this. So you say, wow, you probably do make that motion every day. Wouldn't you agree? What's my face? Yeah, like that. So I'm just curious, how does it feel that something you do every day, that you're vulnerable, and one day you don't even know what's coming? What am I poking on? Second human need, uncertainty. That something you could do every day could disable you and you don't even know what's coming. How do you feel about that? Do you think you had a condition that predisposed you? Well, no, I just did this. Yeah, I know. I got it. I heard you just reached over, baby seat. Just curious, how many times you do that a week? So what was the difference between this time? Well, I just twisted like this. Oh. So you had a pre-existing condition, you had a pre-existing weakness, and all you had to do was just do it like that. Man, now you come crawling in here. Do you like being vulnerable like that? Right? Now I'm poking on uncertainty. You're going to feel pain, the emotional pain. Now I don't have to try and force organs on that person. They're not ready for that reality. You have to be able to understand what reality are they willing to accept. Then what question, now you can accept it right now. It doesn't mean that's the ultimate picture because I'm in a freaking consultation. Right? Do you think they're going to feel a little bit of pain in the exam? Oh yeah, they're going to feel a little bit in the ROF, So it's a step-by-step system. You don't have to kill Moby Dick with one harpoon. You know what I mean? You can shoot him a couple times. I got 10. I'm going to swim after you for a little bit, and then you can't swim faster than me because I'm going to be shooting you over and over and over again. You are going down. It's my choice. It's just the way it is. Or you can tell me your health's not a priority. That's still my choice. So we control the focus, right? You are never at a loss of power. No one ever controls you, and it's not a control issue. It's your directing their focus because they innately want it. They just don't know how to get there. So I'm just a good coach. It's not about power or control. It's about being able to influence people to do something in their life that the universe put them right in front of you. I don't care if it's conscious or subconscious. That is a law. Right? Now when you believe that, then objection's only a question. Okay? So in the exam, everything you do in the exam, we're going to answer 3 questions. What did I find? Speak Latin. What's it mean? Give them an analogy. How does it affect your body? Refer to the consultation. I know you don't know this. I'm going to show you how to do it. You're going to answer 3 questions with every finding. What are you going to do? Answer what? What are they? What did I find? What else? What's it mean? What else? Okay. I'm going to show you how to connect all this. Now there's going to be 5 body languages. And we're going to show you what this means. This is in your script book. We say, what did I find? When you're doing posture, you're going to shift them into the position. So with every finding, you're creating a physical movement that creates a feeling. So you're wiring what you're telling them into their body. Does that make sense? Then you're going to show them. When you give them an analogy, you're going to demonstrate it. Why do we demonstrate it? Why? Wiring. But how is demonstrating it wiring into them? Visual learners, and they're watching how you move. Now this whole exam was developed in one day. And I still remember the person. And I went in there and I'm like, you know what? I just don't think they're getting it. So I walked around front and I go, look, it shifted like this. What do you think that's like? It's like a kink in a hose. Come on, Miss Jones, what is it? What is it? What happens to wiring a kink in a hose? Blah, 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 blah. And they're like, well, it's this and this and this. And I watched them go, oh. And I watched their body, I watched the state change. And then I was just smart enough to do what? Do it again. I'm not that bright. I'm telling you, this isn't anything brilliant. It's just, hey, if it worked, why don't I do it again? It's pretty friggin' simple, don't you think? Sometimes not being smart makes you try harder. How's that? What do you think? Then you got to dig on them. What's it mean? Stroke the nerve distribution. How does it affect your body? Let me show you. Touch the area of complaint. So you're creating a physical feeling and motion with each fact. Okay? Exam flow. You're going to posture, standing exam, seated, supine, prone, finish with palpation, and then you're going to invite the spouse at the end of day one, and we'll get into this.